Have you ever wondered why the love that once felt endless suddenly starts to fade? That rush of butterflies, the excitement, the feeling that you couldn't imagine life without that person. And then, months or years later, it just feels different, less intense, maybe even dull. Most people assume that when love fades, something is wrong with the relationship, or that it means the spark is gone forever. But here's the truth. It's not always about fault. It's about science. Our brains, our bodies, and even the way we form habits play a huge role in how love evolves, and sometimes why we start losing interest without even realizing it. Let's start with the brain. Falling in love triggers a chemical storm. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. These are the chemicals that make your heart race, your stomach flutter, and your mind obsess over someone. But here's the catch. Our brains are wired to seek novelty. The excitement you felt in the first months, that's novelty. When things become familiar, when routines set in, dopamine levels naturally drop. That doesn't mean you don't love the person anymore. It means your brain is signaling that the newness is gone. Think of it like this. Imagine eating the same dessert every day. The first time, it's unforgettable. The fifth time, it's just sweet. That doesn't mean the dessert is bad. It just means your brain has adapted. Relationships work in a very similar way. I remember a real story from a friend who had been dating someone for about 2 years. They were inseparable at first, texting constantly, planning weekend trips, staying up late talking about everything. But over time, she noticed something subtle. She stopped getting excited when he called. She still loved him, but the rush wasn't there. She started questioning everything. Am I bored? Do I still care? It made her anxious, even guilty. But the reality was biological. The novelty had faded, and with it, the intensity of those early chemical highs. Psychologists explain this phenomenon as hedonic adaptation. Humans get used to positive experiences. The brain loves newness and challenge. That's why novelty is so important in long-term relationships. Without it, even a healthy, loving connection can feel dull. But it's not just chemicals. Habits play a huge role too. When couples get comfortable, routines can replace romance. Doing the dishes, commuting together, or binge-watching shows on the couch. These things are comforting, but they don't trigger the same emotional highs as spontaneous adventure or heartfelt conversation. Over time, emotional distance can grow without anyone noticing. Then there's psychology. Early in relationships, people often idealize their partners. We see only the positive traits. This is called the halo effect. But as time passes, we notice imperfections. Sometimes that realization is paired with disappointment. I thought they would be more adventurous, or I didn't realize they'd be so stubborn. It's natural. And it doesn't mean love is gone. It means you're seeing reality. Another factor is attachment style. Some people are naturally anxious and crave constant reassurance. Others are avoidant and pull back when they feel too close. Differences in attachment styles can subtly reduce interest over time if couples don't communicate and adapt. Here's a metaphor. Think of love like a garden. At the beginning, it's planted with excitement and novelty. You water it constantly. That's the dopamine, the messages, the attention. But over time, if you stop tending it, weeds creep in. Routine, misunderstanding, emotional distance. Even the healthiest garden can start to look less vibrant if it's not nurtured intentionally. So what can you do if you notice interest fading? First, awareness is key. Recognizing that this is a natural part of long-term relationships removes guilt and panic. Your love isn't failing. Your brain and habits are just evolving. Second, introduce novelty. Try new activities together. Go on trips, explore new hobbies, or even just change your routine. Small changes can reignite dopamine and remind your brain why it felt excitement in the first place. Third, prioritize emotional connection. Talk about feelings, dreams, and fears. The conversations that make you feel seen and heard. It's not just about staying busy together. It's about staying emotionally present. I want to share a real-world example. A couple I know had been together 5 years. They were stable, happy, but the passion had faded. They started a simple challenge. Every week, they would each plan a surprise date, something out of the ordinary. It didn't have to be expensive. One week, they had a picnic in the living room. Another week, they tried salsa dancing. The results were remarkable. Not because they changed who they were, but because they reintroduced novelty and effort. Their interest in each other increased naturally. It's also worth noting that not all fading interest is reversible. Sometimes people grow apart because their values, goals, or needs diverge. That's not a failure. It's natural evolution. Recognizing when love is fading because of natural growth versus neglect is essential. Finally, remember that love is more than passion. Relationships have different stages. Early infatuation feels intense and consuming. Long-term love requires deeper emotional investment. Understanding this distinction helps you navigate the changes without feeling alarmed or inadequate. The central message is simple. Love fading doesn't mean the end. It means attention, awareness, and intentional effort are required to maintain connection. Your feelings may shift, your excitement may ebb, but your relationship can grow in depth and resilience if you act consciously. When we notice that love is fading, it's easy to panic. We start questioning ourselves, our partner, and the relationship itself. But the reality is that love is not static. It evolves. The intense, almost overwhelming feelings at the beginning are driven by novelty, chemistry, and idealization. These feelings naturally decline over time. That doesn't mean love is dying. It means it's transforming. Understanding this gives us clarity and power. Think of early love as a fireworks show. It's dazzling, unpredictable, and thrilling. But fireworks don't last all night. They burn bright and then fade. The beauty lies in recognizing that long-term love is not meant to be a constant burst of fireworks. It's like a garden that requires consistent care. Without attention, weeds creep in. Habits, routine, and emotional distance. With deliberate effort, the garden flourishes into something deeper, steady, nourishing, and sustaining. One real-life example is a couple I know who had been together for several years. They were happy, but noticed their connection wasn't as electric as it once was. Instead of ignoring it, they decided to experiment with novelty, small surprises, new hobbies together, even short spontaneous trips. The effect was remarkable. They didn't reignite the same initial intensity. They built a richer, more meaningful connection. Their interest returned, not because of magic, but because of intention. Practical steps can help maintain and grow love over time. First, introduce novelty into the relationship. New experiences trigger dopamine, rekindling excitement naturally. Second, prioritize emotional intimacy. Share feelings, fears, and dreams. The conversations that make both partners feel truly seen. Third, practice conscious attention. Celebrate small moments, express gratitude, and maintain awareness of your partner's emotional needs. It's also important to accept that some fading is natural and irreversible. People grow, and sometimes paths diverge. Recognizing this prevents blame and allows both partners to approach change with honesty and respect. Love that endures is not about constant intensity. It's about evolving together, navigating challenges, and nurturing connection intentionally. Ultimately, losing interest temporarily or feeling that spark diminish is not failure. It is a call to action, a reminder that relationships, like all living things, need care, attention, and conscious effort. By understanding the science behind fading interest, we can take control, act intentionally, and transform a natural decline in passion into an opportunity for growth, deeper intimacy, and lasting love. When you stop fearing the fade and start tending the connection, you discover that love is not about constant fireworks. It's about building a fire that warms, sustains, and endures. The choice to invest consciously in your relationship is what transforms fleeting attraction into a lifelong bond.